parkway in my automobile, trying to get back to my pappy's corn liquor steal. Soon as I crossed that Buncombe County line, something in the air blew my podcast up high. It was the wisdom from the chicks in the city sticks, and I knew right then it was gonna be my fix. No need for white lightning to get my start. It's hey Lord, have mercy and bless your heart. Lordy, yeah, you know what I mean. It's not strange, take it from me. Lordy, come and listen to see weird mountain gals on the party. Up on Weird Mountain, they've been getting their kicks, jamming on the porch just a hit and mash, stirring up the pot, that's what they do best. They can dish it out till there ain't none left. WYRD, yeah, you know what I mean. No, it's not strange, you can take it from me. WYRD, come and listen to see Weird Mountain Gals on WYRD. Well, I finally found my pappy's corn liquor steal. Filled up the jug and had to hit the trail. Gotta get back to the cottage in the Asheville woods, to the Weird Mountain Gals neighborhood. WYRD, yeah, you know what I mean. It's not strange, you can take it from me. WYRD, come and listen and see Weird Mountain Gals on WYRD. It's them Weird Mountain Gals on WYRD. It's them Weird Mountain Gals on WYRD.
Do you consider yourself normal? Then this is not the show for you. Please go somewhere else. This is WYRD. If it's getting weird, it's got to be the Weird Mountain Gals show. You're listening to Byron and Alicia, the Weird Mountain Gals.
But I do think that that's what I felt. That's what was in my mind. And I know my first reaction was make myself invisible and then ground at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Make myself invisible while my body was going all the way down to the middle of the earth, you know.
Yeah.
And that it was, and then you were in there. You were in there. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Somebody would
I
be
hear what
wondering.
you're saying. I just finished doing a little Facebook Live thing. I went back into the backyard, and there've been these two big heads of elderberries that kind of hang over my car when I park. And they're so beautiful. Every time I look at them, I think, oh, I need to make a picture of those or need to do something with them. And it's like they've been communicating with me. And it was like, here, look at us. Aren't we beautiful? Look how beautiful we are.
That's interesting. I mean, it's animist, I guess.
Well, I mean, and you and I both are animists.
Yeah.
Whether we do that as right now, animism is a hot topic.
Is it?
Yeah, and I think most people don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what to say about
But I
that.
think that about a lot of things, don't I?
Yeah. Yes. You and yes. That's just all I'm gonna say on that. It's like me with media. I suspect every kind of media. I trust books the most, and I trust television the least. But there's or maybe I should change that out to trust the internet the least.
Yeah.
That internet. So,
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to switch the topic right now to talk about tourism in Asheville.
go for it. Something in your craw. I was going to say, you got something in your craw? That's what they used to say. Probably. Sorry.
Well, I don't know about it. I don't know about it being in my craw, but there's been a whole lot of stuff recently about the tourism. It's down this year. Oh no! What are we gonna do? It's like, I know why. Because you and I are complaining about it all the damn time.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
And there's the phone again, but I don't even care. There's the phone. La la la.
Well, if the phone didn't come on at least once, we'd feel ripped off.
I know it.
We need to have that. Oh, I don't want that background.
Oh, look at you. What is that?
I think it's a ship that's like
a porthole.
Yeah. Oh, but maybe to a spaceship. I like that concept. I wouldn't mind that. But I want something that's more like me. That's more, So it has been an interesting moon to look at.
It's so big and beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It sure is. And I've enjoyed the crap out of driving. I was driving last night. I was driving south, and I had a beautiful view of it in my side there, and it was just hardly any traffic at all. And it was just the nicest drive. That's how it used to be driving around this area. That's what I wanted to stay. Of course, I wanted to stay like that. Tell me what you were thinking about the tourism.
No, I was just reading that article, and they were saying, oh, and the Airbnbs are in trouble and the restaurants are in trouble. And I remember some place that sells a lot of Asheville merch was saying, well, we had a day last week where we only did about $100 worth of stuff. And I thought, well, how much of that stuff do people need? Anyway, I was being very just ugly about it, but also kind of smiling like, what do you know? But because, and this is apropos what you were saying a few minutes ago, is that, so I read it wasn't the Washington Post, but it's some newspaper out of DC that said North Carolina City taking a serious accounting of what the homeless population is doing for tourism. And that was like 3 days ago.
Right.
And then yesterday or last week, I guess the city council had passed some kind of thing they were going to do to, to get these people into houses so that they weren't. So it's like 1, 2, 3, we're just hearing a little bit too much about it. So what does that mean? Are we talking about that now because really the problem is something entirely different? So I'm just a little suspicious.
I'm very suspicious. I mean, I feel that I can't trust them. I can't trust anybody right now about that subject in this area hardly at all, because I feel like there's so many agendas that are going on. That where's the agenda that says let's just help some folks if we can,
right?
Help them if we can. And so I don't know. The spidey sense in me is going, something's up.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, I don't know what, but some things have not been normal. Not that things are ever actually normal. Okay, I'm not saying that, but for us, our baseline has been drastically changed in the last week. People who observe those sort of things, and tourism, we can't, the tourism folks, you can't emphasize enough how driven by only money they are.
Oh yeah, and they don't make any kind of qualms about that. Because Asheville's beautiful. We want everybody to come here.
Yeah, come to cool green.
I get it. I guess I get it.
It's a cash cow, but it's really hard to watch. And then on the other hand, I see the local folks who are selling out to the developers. My drive this time next year is going to be drastically changed. My one last road that wasn't just overdeveloped, is we're losing our pastures and we're losing our cornfields, and they're all going to be multi whatever you call it, dwellings.
Right. Multifamily dwellings.
Thank you. Hundreds of them just on that little route between Avery's Creek and Airport Road.
Yep.
On both sides of the road.
Yep.
So, that explains the Dollar General store that went up there unexplained for no reason. A Dollar General store just shows up, and it must have been pregnant, and all these condos and homes are going to be what it gives birth to. I don't know.
Isn't that funny? So it's like the Dollar General store or dollar store, whatever they are, they're like the canaries in the coal mine.
Yep.
So it just shows up, and then suddenly, everything is ripe for development.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but it's crazy. So I'm still loving on the mountains, and I know I've been spoiled for so long, and I know that in a practical way, I can't really expect to be able to keep my beautiful home a beautiful home, because hey, nobody else has it, and why would we expect them to take care of ours when they don't take care of theirs? That's just the way I feel about it. I'm trying to get over it. I haven't been able to yet. Have you?
No, I haven't either. And the thought that always hits me hardest is, right now we've got fairly cheap petroleum, so we can ship our damn corn in from wherever the hell it comes from.
Yeah.
But what happens when we don't have that and there's no place to grow crops? No place.
That's a good question.
Because we took that cow pasture, and so no milk, because we took the cow pasture because we had to put in multi-million-dollar homes for people, second and third homes for people, because the people here can't afford those homes.
Right.
Because they have to move farther and farther out. And I know I've said it more than once, but the idea that Johnson City, Tennessee is a bedroom community of Asheville is heartbreaking to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. So,
and what they're positioning Canton for is also heartbreaking.
And what do you think that is?
Just what they've done to Asheville.
Yeah.
Exactly the same. Because now they don't have the stink from the paper mill. So now everybody's going to be running out there. And so the property values are going to shoot up. And the people have been living in those little tiddly-taddly clapboard houses for, 85 years. Suddenly that little house is going to be like these damn mill houses around me that are now worth $500,000.
That's the thing. I mean, if Papa Joe is in his 80s and he can sell his cow field and for hundreds of thousands of dollars or more, and leave something to his grandkids,
who in the world could judge him for that? Because I don't.
That's my point.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you say? That's his grandkids, and that's the land he worked, and I'm sure he loves it. But what can you say? It's going to go one way or another, whether he's alive and taking advantage of it or not. And it's a damnable situation.
Yes.
We ought to figure out, but saying it, I just can't justify my opinion with anything real.
No, I can't either.
Yeah.
Because the idea, but I will say this, because the people, when I moved into this neighborhood that owned these little mill houses, they didn't sell them for $500,000. So they didn't make the profit that some damn developer did. Now it's different with, Grandpa Joe or whoever you were just talking about, who sells the cow pasture for $1 million and then they put up a whole bunch of $500,000 homes.
Yeah.
That's a different thing, because he directly profited from that and he can pass that on.
Right.
I think about the Three Brothers restaurant.
Yeah.
And they were paid a pretty penny for that really good piece of land where the hotel is on now.
Yeah.
And they profited directly from that. And so on the one level, there's no way I'm going to complain about that, because those folks were good. They are good people. They served this community literally for generations.
Yeah.
And so who in the world could blame them for making a little bit of money and having an easy retirement? I'm not going to blame anybody for that.
No, and I'm not either. But it's just sad. It is that sad that they get put in that place. People are getting taxed out of their homes.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
they can't afford to stay there.
That's the worst of it. And frankly, the powers that be could do something about that. They could grandfather people in.
Yeah.
And they could say you have a commitment to a community. And as long as you are in that community, living in that house that you've owned for 40 years, we're going to figure out how you don't pay the maximum amount of taxes on it. We could do that if we had the political will to do it, but we don't.
No.
Because we don't care, because the powers that be don't care if your grandma has to sell her house and move in with you. They don't care.
No,
if that means that somebody can flip that damn property 6 or 7 times,
yeah,
and really get it up in the tax base higher. They don't care. They don't care what you and your mom have to do. You ain't no concern of theirs.
They don't want it to go too high though, because then there won't be any taxes owed on it. Remember.
Well, or it could be owned by a church and no taxes to be owed on it.
Right. You know, I will never forget that when my father-in-law was in his dying phase, before he had assisted living and all of that, he was getting there though, and he did some things that he had always wanted to do to his house, and one of the things was a roof. So he gets this roof, and I'm tempted to tell you who it is, but they came to him after all of it was over. Of course, he had already paid for it. And they said they wanted to keep in touch and make sure that he was really happy with it. And where was he going to be at in the next month or so? And so he let him know, you know, what his prognosis was. And I'm not sure what else he let him know because I wasn't there. But when he went in there, they came and saw him and gave him just what I would call a hard time, trying to guilt him into, or scare him into, leaving his house with their church.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah. And I mean, when I say guilt or scare, it's using the whole, well, you're going to be gone soon. What have you done for the kingdom of the Lord?
That's obscene. It's obscene.
I was livid. And then they had the nerve to ask me if I'd come and do a website for them. And when I gave them a quote
for free
right then, and sure enough, before the conversation was over, they had asked me if I would just donate it to the church. And up until then, I tried my best to keep things separate, work and whatever, you know, family. My husband and I were going to write a letter to both the church and to the fella. And so I was trying to keep things separate, but I knew he was going to do that. And I was mad at him, and he knew it. I just think that's crummy. I do.
Well, and I thought that was a pretty civilized way for you to put that, because I believe I would have described it a different way.
Well, it's not ethical, for one thing.
No, it's not ethical.
And it ought to be against the law.
Thing I've heard, so crow that out.
Yeah, well, it's true. I agree with you. And it ought to be illegal to do something like that. I know I don't need to legislate everything, but I mean, damn.
My great uncle, my grandfather's half brother, had he ran a small dairy herd out in Leicester for years and years. When he got old enough that he got rid of the herd, he was going to live a nice, quiet retirement. His church came to him and said, well, you're not using that land anymore. How about you give some of that to us and we'll build a church? So he ended up with a church and a damn graveyard in his front yard because he did something good.
Did he get any of the tax benefit? Probably not.
No, I'm sure he didn't.
Did the church?
I'm absolutely sure he did not.
God, it
makes me so angry. But golly, girl, so much stuff makes us angry.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I am relieved I'm on blood pressure medicine though.
Yeah.
Because dang, I get good and mad, and it's all good.
Well, Oh, yeah, I guess so. But you know what? People who are in the situation, they may not have a podcast to tell it to. And so
No,
many
that's
people
right.
are more polite than we are.
Well,
At least we
and
get our
people,
point across.
right. And people are not, I mean, they're more savvy now than they used to be, but it used to be that people just, they just went, oh, well, I mean, that's right. I'm not using that land. So
Yeah.
sure, you use some of that land. That's fine with me. And then they just get screwed over.
Yeah, I've seen too much of it.
Me too. Way
and
too much of it. It makes me
that-
way too angry.
Yep. And that has a lot to do with my attitude about it. And not to mention, I've just seen what overbuilding has done to the area. And this is the truth too. It feels really wasteful because we have so many buildings that are beautiful and functional, but not necessarily modern. And they get, mowed down and replaced by something that people will make more money with. And I feel like it's wasteful to have buildings sitting empty when there is some huge demand, evidently, for property around here. And
Right, exactly.
There's a lot wrong with the way that we are growing in this area. There's a lot wrong. There's a huge disconnect between the landlords and the citizens of Buncombe County. And, I would venture a guess. I would guess that probably more than 50% of the new developments that are going up are from people who are not even from this state.
No, oh no, they're out of town developers because I'm telling you what, the city council and the county commissioners have not met an out of state developer they don't love.
We can talk about things that are happy occasionally, though. Maybe
I know, but this one was
winter
not very
over.
happy, was it? This was not a very happy podcast. And dang, I ate some yummy cold grapes today, and I had caprese salad, which is just about my favorite thing to eat. Fresh mozzarella and a fresh tomato and some fresh basil.
Yeah,
so
that
I'm eating
sounds
good, but I don't know. I got this long ass drive ahead of me tomorrow, probably 9.5 hours. I'm not looking forward to that, though. Most of it, you know how you got to go through Virginia,
Yeah.
and it's a up 81 for hours on hours on hours.
Yeah, well, maybe there's a good podcast about that you could listen to.
Maybe. You know what I do though with my traveling, I know I've said this before, is I just listen to country music.
Do you? Okay.
I do, because it is reliably everywhere I travel.
And then when you get out of the vehicle, you're ready to kick ass and take names and
I'm
drink a
ready
beer
to have me a
afterwards.
big old drink or something and put on some tight jeans, go play some pool with my buddies.
That's right. Do you know what I heard today? I heard a song that I might have even mentioned it. It was iconic when I was a teenager in Robbinsville. And it was called A Country Boy Can Survive.
Oh, gosh, yes.
And
Gosh, yes.
I just let it play. I was in the car. And before the song was over, because I laughed about it to myself, I had rolled the window down, turned the air conditioner off, hung my arm out the window.
Oh, my God. I love it. Well, I went into Appalachian Craft Center to pick up a gift for a friend.
Yeah.
And I go there whenever I need something that's Appalachian and arts and crafts. I go there because they have a wonderful selection and the prices are good and the people are really friendly.
Yeah.
So I go in, I tell her what it is I'm looking for. And we pick one out, and she said, pick one out that I've got a big enough box for, because I wanted to put it in a box.
Okay.
So we picked out one she had a box for, and we just chatting, and we're talking about a friend of ours, Marilyn McCready, who used to work there, a mutual friend of all of us. So we're just having this wonderful chat. And then, damned if Sweet Home Alabama didn't come on the music. And I was just like, I am home. And then we were talking about one of them went to Inca, and she was class of 72, and her brother was class of 74, same class I was in. So we had that whole conversation. I thought, yeah, I mean, this still feels like home around here, and that's good.
Yeah.
It's real good.
There's a lot about home that will always be around, probably. But
Yeah.
so I can remember that. I can hopefully remember that when I'm busy, screaming into the void about the overgrowth in the area.
That's right, and the tourism. But now I have to, this may get us in trouble. You may want to just not use this, but that Jason Aldean song that everybody's talking about, I've been hearing that. That came out months ago.
Yeah.
And I've been hearing it when I'm tootling around the country, listening to country music. And it was like, well, that's how it is in a small town. But I had never seen the video. I didn't listen to the song. So when people are like, well, how dare he? What the hell is he saying? Well, he's just this, this, this. And I was like, well, I don't understand what the problem is. I listened to that song, but then I saw the video and I thought,
oh, yeah. I haven't seen the video.
Yeah.
Well, people are ready to be mad about one thing or another, and that's for sure.
Aren't they? And look at us. We've been mad all day today about something.
You know what? I've been in such a hurry and so distracted that's got a lot to do with my shortness, because my brain doesn't stop just because I have to call the electric company, call the water company, call the, do this, do that, do this, do that. And it's just been kind of an overload of things to do today. And I got them all done before I came out. To record. I got every one of them done that I needed to have done. But now I'm at this kind of, I feel like I'm caffeinated. I get like a chihuahua. I'm like, okay, when I'm really, really busy, I do sometimes. So. Oh, well, busy people.
That's funny. That is so funny.
They say if you want to get something done, ask a busy person. I've heard that off and on.
Yeah. I mean, yesterday I felt like I was a free man in Paris yesterday, except for his Merriman Avenue, because I get my oil changed at that Valvoline place. And before I leave town, I wanted to just, drive through and have them check my fluids and make sure the tires are where they need to be, all that stuff, which they do. It's part of the service. So first I went by the shop and I left them some books because they were out of one of my books. I left the books. Then I went through and got my car looked at and everything was fine. And then I just peeled in next door and went through the car wash. And then I went up to, kept going up Merriman and went in the liquor store and got a bottle of my favorite Irish whiskey. And then I went over to the Walgreens and bought myself some, a big old tub of Jergens lotion because I was out of that. And I was like, damn, I'm getting some stuff done.
Yep.
It was good.
I've done.
Plus I did laundry.
I've got laundry to do. But
yeah, and I did a load of laundry today. It's hanging on the line right now.
And I don't think we're going to get, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to jinx anything. So, but the weather.
Afternoon rain.
Yeah, yeah.
We're not supposed to.
We're not, no. And it has, I think our air quality is also much improved. And, last night there were 3 meteor showers that had we been maybe 1,000 feet higher, we probably could have seen them in spite of the full moon. This
Beautiful.
is a big meteor shower time.
Yeah, and I've always got to leave because I live downtown and there's so much ambient light.
Yeah.
Plus, with the full moon, there was no chance I was going to see anything.
Did I ever take you up on the mountain there?
Where all the apples are?
Yeah, place.
Yes.
I'll take that out.
Yeah, that's a good place.
That's a good place to see most anything around here. And I love it because there's no chance you're going to run into other humans.
Boy, isn't that a nice thing?
That's the best feeling I know. I can sleep in a place like that as long as I'm not getting eaten up by bugs. I can sleep like that. Oh, even completely alone, I can do it and just feel all right. It's when I sleep around. It's just when I sleep around. It's
I think that's one of those segments you need to cut out and use it.
Yeah,
Oh, when I sleep around, says Alicia.
says Alicia. Yeah. When I sleep around too many humans, I never sleep well, ever. I'm
Yeah.
always aware that there are other humans around, and I don't trust them. I'd much rather have to contend with a bear getting in the house than somebody on meth.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, you
You
can
know,
reason with a bear.
right? And so I know I know that's strange, but I really do feel that way. Bear, you can scare off, or distract or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yodeling.
I'm gonna go meet a friend of mine for coffee who's, walking a rough road right now.
Uh,
There's a lot of people, and I'm gonna give a shout out to all the people that we know and love who are hoeing a hard road right now. They are sick, or their loved ones are sick, or they've had horrible circumstances fall upon them. So just know that we think of y'all as much as we can. And, we've had some important kind of media, popular culture deaths in the past week or so.
mhm.
And Sinead O'Connor died last week. And then Paul Rubin, who did Pee Wee Herman, he died yesterday or the day before. So, yeah, a lot of people are going through a lot of things right now. And, we're with you. And if you contact us and let us know, we'll light a candle for you and remember you in the morning prayers and all that stuff.
Yeah, we will. Most
But
definitely.
that's how we're all going to get through this, is by looking after each other and doing what we can for each other and with each other.
That's right. That's how we roll.
That's how we roll on Wyrd Mountain.
So I think it was 10 years ago, and you know how Facebook shows you your memories.
Yes.
10 years ago, he had taken a photograph of something or 8 years ago, of something I had signed as yearbook in high school. And it says, "Dear Bill, how can I write down everything that's happened this year?" and, then I said, "We both know that I can't. Just remember, I love you." And then I
Oh.
signed it, "Kinkily yours, Alicia."
Well, in my Facebook memories today was a picture of his wife Nessa
Oh,
and their daughter Shayna singing a harvest song. A little
oh,
video of that came up, I don't know, 8-9 years ago, long time ago.
wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And so we were both thinking about him. It went back, that was 8 years ago that memory showed up. And I always, every day now, when I look on Facebook, I always see a memory from the podcast now. Do you?
Oh, that's nice.
We had the one that shows up now is from 2020, and it was called Wyrd Mountain Tales, Dreams, Ghosts, and Cantaloupe Soup.
Cantaloupe soup. I remember that one.
I sort of do. It says, in the upcoming episode, the gals spend a languid afternoon telling tales of the beloved dead and a bunch of interconnected and strange situations. Byron is inspired to dream of more products, and Alicia surprises her with a string of explicatives and talk of the special cloth.
Oh my goodness.
And you were drinking Ryder's Tears whiskey and water.
Yeah, we were on the porch because that's what I've got down at Wyrd. That's what I had at Wyrd Mountain. Pitchfork Patty gave me that bottle of whiskey.
That I remember that distinctly.
Yeah.
And the quote was from you, and it said, "Who knew that crows liked peaches?"
Golly, we've done some funny stuff.
I do like reading those memories. The picture that we had associated with that one is kind of a sepia tone print of some cows in some really tall hay at night. And I remember that picture. There's a whole bunch of cows there just looking at the camera,
Yes, I remember that.
Well, listen, I'm gonna let you go.
All right.
Get some rest before you have to drive. And
I won't, but I've actually been resting the past couple of days. I said all that stuff I did yesterday, but it was just kind of fun. I was
yeah.
like, what? My car is clean. My car hadn't been clean in, I couldn't tell you how long. It's clean on the outside anyway. And then I took my mats out
yeah.
and I just, shook them a little bit and they look great. So
Wow.
the car's clean. The tires are all plumped up.
Oh,
I mean, it
nice.
was good. It's a good thing.
I know that's got to be a good feeling. Well, if you get bored tomorrow,
On the road for 9 hours?
yeah, yep.
Oh, yeah.
Call me because
I will call you.
All right.
I'll call all of y'all. I'm going to be on the road tomorrow. I'm leaving here at 10 o'clock because I want to miss all that damn Washington, D.C. traffic. So I'm just going to be on the road. Y'all call me and I'll just talk to you all the way over 26 to 81 to God, all that other stuff I go to. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be good. And I'll stop in Stanton, Virginia to have me a big old piece of pie at Mrs. Rowe's Pie Shop.
Uh-huh.
Or Mrs. Rao. I don't know how it's pronounced.
You've talked about that place before.
I know, and I'm saving up my carbs for a big old piece of pie.
Well, enjoy it. Enjoy it.
I will.
Yeah. And like I said, give me a holler if you want to. And
I may very well do that just so, because we had all those ideas when I was coming back from Ohio about new things to do. So who knows what we'll come up with.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? I have many things to tell you just as soon as we all get a little time. So
well, good luck with everything this week and say hi to your mama for me.
I will. She's doing good, by the way.
Good.
Yep.
All right.
I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. Bye, weirdlings. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
See ya. Bye.
Hey, thank you for spending your time with us here at Wyrd Mountain Gals. We sure do appreciate it. I know time is the most important thing we have. So I promise that if you take your time to listen to us, we'll take our time to continue to be weird. Many thanks to Sunslice Records for all the help. We couldn't do it without you, Craig. Check out our social media for information, community, or a few laughs. WYRD Mountain Gals.
WYRD Radio.
It's when I sleep around. It's just when I sleep around.